things once they're removed. It's so sad that people don't treasure your presence until your absence. And many of us we gotta let our absence be their downfall. Listen, do not rush to people who don't appreciate your presence. Don't try to rush for things that you know for a fact will deteriorate your presence and being connected to God. You gotta say, God, if you take it, I trust you. But if it's yours, it'll always come back. People think that God removes and never brings stuff back. God, if it's yours, let it go. That's why I tell people, listen to me very closely. When a woman or a man walks out of your life or wants to be removed from your life, let them go. Because if you make them stay, they will build resentment. You gotta let them go to find out on their own why they left. There's a lot of people who left your boy and they're hurting right now because they know for a fact, I'm one of a kind. When you're one of a kind, not everybody is supposed to be there when you shine. That's why God says, let me remove. I'm rapping. Listen to me now. You got to let them go. Because if you don't let them go, you may mess up your development. Let them go. If they come back, it's yours. Because I tell people, they be like, Josh, but I think he's the best thing I ever saw. Or I think she's the best thing, man. God got extras. God got plenty. God's not moved by who was removed. God makes space for something always better. He never makes space for something that's not best for you. Good is not always good. God wants to give you his best. Give you the best. But listen, the best takes time. Because you got to equal what you ask for. That's why we got to stop praying for stuff that we're not. That's why God don't come through, because we're like, God, that's why you think you're single for so long. Why do you think nobody's here right now? It's not because God can't get them to you. You're not ready for them. And I tell people, listen, that's why you will make sure you ask accurately. God, I don't even want nobody right now because I'm not ready. You got to be like that. You got to be honest. Because when you start asking for stuff immaturely, you start asking because of your desires, not from discernment. Discernment will let you know what? I ain't even ready. I can't even clean my own room, let alone clean a house. I can't even eat. Some of y'all talking about, I want a man that cook. You can't cook for yourself. You got to be able to say, am I what I'm asking for? Because God looks at your personal development. Now, doesn't that mean God say you want two perfect people? He just wants two whole people. You got to take your baggage to God and have him unpack your bags instead of trying to go to someone to make them unpack it for you. That's why most relationships fail. Because we're like, can you unpack my bags for me? Your drawers are dirty. Listen, you got to go to God and say, you know what, God? Purge me, prune me, clean me, so that when I'm presented to somebody else, I'm whole. Listen, we've been leaking throughout life for too long. That's what my book is about coming this fall. It's not about making singles feel good. It's not about making people feel good. It's about so many of us are leaking today because we're full of holes. God wants you whole, not full of holes. God is the only one that can patch your life up so that when you step into that ministry, step into that business, step into the relationship, step into that new phase, when something's poured into you, it won't flood out of you. Why do you think God doesn't pour anything into your life if your life is still leaking? God doesn't believe in squandering things. God is the ultimate steward, meaning that I'm not going to pour something into you when I know for a fact it's going to flow out just as quick as it was poured in. You got to allow this season of isolation, this season of pruning, and say, you know what, God, patch me up so that when I'm presenting, I won't lose what you give. A lot of us have lost a lot of things because we forced ourselves into positions. God doesn't care about your tears. He cares about your preparation. Prepare yourself today and watch God move. Don't ask God to order your steps if you're not willing to go where he's ordering them. You got to be one with him and know what he wants for you instead of asking him for stuff that you know you're not prepared for. Yes.